Mechanical engineering use wide aspect of subjects.
Yes.
I was more into material science because of this graphing. So that pushed me to do my master's, which is more into nanotechnology and specializing more on nanomaterial. But the primary thing which I have observed or which I have compared with other European countries with KTH or other universities with KTH is like they do have very specialization which allows you to specialize in some kind of specific path. Even those people have some collaboration with topmost scientists. They have good collaboration with the companies and they do research to support those companies. I got admission into KTH. You can always transfer to some other universities if you like. For example, though I did my master's in KTH, I did my master thesis in Chalmers, which is another university. The Chalmers, which is principal coordinator of this graphene flagship. That's the only reason of so. Still now they have this club in KTH, so which is known as KTH Hyperloop. So here in actually it's a worldwide competition, like which is initiated by Elon Musk. Here, especially which I have seen in Sweden is if you have not been in academic setup for 20 to 25 years, there is no possibilities you will be getting the position of professors here. Whatever maybe you might have good journals or something, they don't care that. You should be there at least in academic setup for 20 years. This is from a government funded, which is a Swedish grant fund. So basically, your professor will apply for a project, and your professor will get a grant, and then thereby you can do a PhD. See, currently I'm working more on mexines, which are titanium metal carbides. Myself now I'm doing much basic fundamental studies to understand their physics and chemistry, where I do employ electron microscope, transmission electron microscope, which is available here in Linköping University. In Sweden, for doctoral student, you have a different permit, which is known as residence permit for doctoral students. Since doctoral student has employment benefits as you are treated as a work as an employee, and also you will be also treated as a student. You will get student benefits and you will get employee benefits. You should do your background check. You should go to, for example, if you are very much into KTH, you should go to their website and you should always do check what are the courses I'm going to study, what is their curriculum, how their master's courses is designed, and what are the infrastructures they have, and how I can see myself in after completing my master's.
Hello everybody, welcome all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. As you all know, Europe Study Center is the only company who can post so many interviews with all our successful students in the same line. Today we are going to interview our student Hari, who did his masters in Sweden and currently doing his PhD in Sweden. So Hari, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the invite. Very glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, myself Hari. I have basically did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering in National Engineering College, Coimbatore, which is affiliated to Anna University, Tamil Nadu. And after that, I've been strongly pursued by towards nanotechnology. So I have pushed my desire to do my master's in nanotechnology in KTH, Sweden. And then later, I've been more interested into research. So I've been pushed myself to do my PhD in material science. And I'm currently doing my PhD in Linköping University.
Wonderful. Excellent. Amazing. You know, especially at this current time, Hari, where everybody is studying computer science. It's so lovely to do an interview with a doctorate student doing it in material science and nanotechnology. I'm really, really happy. And I also, have a lot of questions to ask you on the technical front when it comes to the material science. So firstly, many people, Hari, do not know after their bachelor's in mechanical engineering, they can study material science. This aspects itself, many people know. And 99% of agents and consultants, they don't even know what is material science. So when you don't know what is material science, how will we even tell the mechanical engineers, you can study material science? So coming to the first question.
Yeah.
Why did you decide material science for your master's? That's what I was curious to ask you.
Okay, sir. Actually, that is a very interesting story. Even myself, I have been fascinating till now. So actually, when I was doing my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, There you have, of course, you do have some kind of subjects which is related to material science, like metallurgy, which primarily focuses on material science. So at those time, like I was tend to read something called graphene, which is a 2D material, which actually fascinated me. Like then later on, like I pursued my bachelor thesis in graphene, like graphene based aluminum nanocomposites. Actually, that is my primary motive, which pushed me to pursue my career in material science. So actually, as you know, mechanical engineering use wide aspect of subjects,
Yes.
so
Yes.
which allows you to focus in many aspects as you wish. So that's the primary reason. Like, which since I was more into material science because of this graphing, so that pushed me to do my masters, which is more into nanotechnology and specializing more on nanomaterial.
Wonderful. Then comes my next question. You had immediately started your master's just after your bachelor's, which is what
Yeah.
I recommend to all the young minds. But still, some old school uncles and aunties still keep talking. You need to have 2-3 years of experience before you do your master's. And a lot of careers have gone down the drain in those 2-3 years. So, when did you think, okay, I think bachelor's is not enough. I have to do my master's. When was that?
So as I previously mentioned, like I was more into graphene. Then I was doing a lot of research
Mm-hmm.
on internet, like what is it, and where I can do my learnings more on this. And I was eagerly interested to spread my knowledge on that. Then I
Okay.
was I came to know Europe has bigger graphene flagship, which
Okay.
uh, which which links all universities in Europe, which
Mm-hmm.
primarily focuses or gives fund to do research on graphene based
Super.
material, graphene based applications. So those are the stuffs. So which fascinated me to do my masters in Europe countries. So then, as to answer your question, why immediately I went to masters? Because as you mentioned, I don't want to waste some time here. Because as I said, at those time there was not that many institutions or the companies which are working on graphene. So to be honest, like I don't find any relevant place to be there in India to study or expand my knowledge. So that's the only reason I suddenly decided to do my masters, and in especially in Europe, where they have huge attention for this graphene based applications and materials.
Excellent answer. Okay. Everything revolves around that material,
Yeah,
graphite. Okay. Wonderful.
yeah.
So, how did you find Europe Study Center?
As I was telling before, I was also pushed to, or I was fascinated to do my masters. But yeah, I've been in Coimbatore, which is a second tier city, maybe you can call. It's not like very famous destination like Chennai or
But a
Coimbatore.
very beautiful
Yeah,
city.
yeah, very beautiful city. But of course, you might know, sir. Like when you're doing your bachelor's in Chennai or Coimbatore, you tend to have a lot of exposure. You tend to go around and get a lot of contacts, and then it is so more easy. But being in Coimbatore, like yeah, I proudly I can say like my college supported a lot. Like
Super.
though it is a tier two college, but they supported me a lot to do pursue many stuffs,
Very nice.
starting from going symposium to IIT or IAC,
Wow.
somewhere from my bachelor's itself. So in that case, I was just searching how to apply, how to go to Europe, and then as I just searched, and I found out Europe Study Center, and I got primarily I talked with the consultants, and I just came to know what are all the available options, and then later I have decided to come here to Sweden.
Okay. Wonderful. Which branch did you visit, by the way?
Actually, I visited the T Nagar branch for the
Okay.
first time.
Chennai. Chennai.
Previous,
Chennai
yeah,
branch.
yeah, yeah, Chennai branch. So
Okay.
previously, I was also suggested to apply for Germany and many other countries. But as I said, I don't want to waste some time because, of course, Germany is very famous destination for students to do their masters. But one thing is like you need to invest some time on language itself. So as I said, if I was doing my bachelor's in Chennai or in some institutes in Chennai or Coimbatore, I would have been well much exposed to do some German languages. It is much more easy for me. I would have learned my German language in my third year or fourth year, but I don't get that opportunity when I doing my bachelor's. So that's the reason I was primarily choosing Sweden, and I'm pretty happy because somehow Sweden institutes has better research for these kind of materials currently.
Wonderful. We are coming to the topic, but just to add, we do send students to Germany, but even if they know German language, I promote medium of instruction only English. So you don't have to know German language to study in Germany. That's a different topic. But to choose Sweden as a study destination and study in KTH, I think you are really, fortunate, and you literally deserved it. And no better place than KTH to do your master's in nanotechnology, which is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, once you got your visa, first question is, how was your first semester? Because we study in a different education system back home in your Coimbatore Engineering College. But now in Stockholm, you are studying in a world-ranked university, which is, in double digits. How was the transformation, Hari?
To be honest, it was very much challenging. I should be more straightforward. It was very, very challenging, and especially when you take these kind of when you change over these interdisciplinary courses. Especially, I have did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and switching over to nanotechnology, which is primarily you are expected to get some basics on electrical engineering as well, like solid state physics, quantum mechanics, everything. So those are the stuffs I have not really learned previously. So it was quite a bit challenging for me. So yeah, I tried my level best, because one thing here with Sweden is like you have kind of a study period, like which comprises of 2 to 3 months. So basically, you have a semester which has been split into two study terms, which
First
is
quarter,
three
second
months
quarter.
of yeah. So basically, you have only less time to study those subjects, and you should also pass those subjects. And you might also know like. Examination here is also completely different, more of a practical approach based questions, and you won't get any straightforward questions from any book you read or write. So that was quite challenging, but I somehow managed to, since I was more passionate about my studies, and I have put more time, and since I had a lot of colleagues or friends here around there, so I just got their help, and even I also got some help from the professors who always like to help you if you approach them.
Excellent. That's what that matters, because however challenging the subject is, provided you are interested and provided you are focused, I'm sure, like Hari, everybody will overcome the task, which I am very, very confident. As I have told you before the pre-talk in this interview, I also studied in Sweden, and I also faced all these challenges in the first semester. It's not a joke, we sit and memorize and write examination, and we suddenly shift to open book examination and understanding the concepts and ideologies. But Hari, don't you think, these sort of discomforts in our life only takes us to a comfortable position in the future? Don't you think so?
Exactly, sir. As you mentioned, I totally agree with that point. When
Thank
you
you.
put you in some challenge situation, so with you, yeah, of course, it might be more difficult for you. But what I see is like you will get always things to learn, which always put you in somewhere in your in future. So which always push you forward in some time frame for sure.
Okay. Hari, you can correct me if you differ with my opinion.
Yeah,
Whichever
sure.
European country it could be, okay? Because some
Okay.
countries are expensive, some countries are free. You put that aside. If the
Yeah.
parents can afford their education,
Yes.
whether it's bachelor's or master's, the
Mm-hmm.
students should grab that opportunity with both of their hands, right? Whether they are placed in campus, whether they are not placed, whether they are average student, whatever. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I totally think this decision should be from the students, sir. So
Yes.
because as you mentioned here, you will get into a lot of challenges. So you should be more passionate. You should be more interested to do something. So you should not come here to just somebody pushed you to do something or something. So I totally believe like you believe in yourself, and you can do something if you want to expand your knowledge. yeah, you should always consider doing some masters here, especially in terms of research, for example, which is not available in some. I'm not saying like it is not completely available, but it is more accessible here in European countries since you have a lot of infrastructures to access them.
Even at UG level, if somebody comes up to me, they have an offer letter from IITs or NITs at UG level, I will still ask them to study in India. Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Exactly. At PG level, whatever universities, I want my youngsters to pack the bags and explore the world. Imagine the transformation, brother, from Coimbatore to Stockholm. It's humongous. It's humongous. Unless and until you get to expose to all these things, you cannot aim for bigger things in life. And also, any student, if I had met him, if he's speaking about nanotechnology and material science, the first thing, what I will say? Don't look at jobs. This is research-oriented topic. You can only look into all these career opportunities after your PhD.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason I'm sitting here doing my PhD.
Wonderful.
So I know that of course there are some opportunities, especially if you do specialization in nanoelectronics. As you know, today you have a lot of chip-based company. You have this 3 nanometer technology. Like everybody is pushing their limits to make the chips very small as possible. So of course you have opportunities when you do nanoelectronics, at least in some companies. Since you have ASML here in Netherlands and much more technologies which are evolving around the Europe. But when you specialize in nanomaterials, say for example me, like if you're saying something graphene, you can't find that much companies which working on graphene. So it is basically like you do some research doing PhD, and then like you can always get some move for the companies to some kind of R&D positions or something.
Exactly, brother. That is what I was trying to say. When I meet young minds, whether they talk nanotechnology at UG level or PG level, only Europe Study Centers counselors can say, please be prepared for their PhDs also. Okay, if they say, no, PhD is not my cup of tea, then we say, don't choose material science. It's as simple as that. Wonderful. So, after the first semester, you were able to adapt to the system. So, you made all your changes and everything started to falling in place from the second semester?
As I said, like the first semester was more challenging. There was a lot of help with my parents, with my friends here, because as you mentioned, like it is a humongous change here. Because when you are doing bachelor's, you can stay in hostel, because in Tamil Nadu you have this kind of setup. When in almost every university you have hostels, they will cook food for you. But when you come here, you don't have that setup. Unfortunately, you should learn cooking. You should learn to do everything what you are not supposed to do it back in India. So yeah, time matters. So you should do everything, and you will also learn much more things here. And yeah, as in the first semester, I came to know how the city, like how the university, how their curriculum works, how you are expected to perform. So then the second semester was quite familiar to me, and then like then I also has chance to choose my own subject apart from the compulsory courses. So then once you tend to move to your subjects which you like to do, then it might be more easy for you to do.
Excellent. Talk to us. I know how big KTH is and how massive KTH is and how impactful KTH is. But as a successful student who studied in KTH, talk to us about the facilities, infrastructure about KTH. That is Royal Institute of Technology, which is the #1 public university in Sweden.
So yeah, like as you said, this is a public university here in Sweden. So yeah, you have almost as I said, this is kind of not a university, but this is as in Sweden they say Tekniska Högskolan, which is a technical school. So they provide all the courses based on technical studies, and of course they do have a lot of specialization. The primary thing which I have observed, or which I have compared with other European countries with KTH or other universities with KTH, is like they do have very specialization which allows you to specialize in some kind of specific path. For example, like I can take nanotechnology in some other European countries. but I don't know how many countries provide or how many university provide these kind of different tracks. So which allows you to take nanoelectronics, nanomaterials. So which I was more interested to KTH and Sweden, number one. And the next thing is, of course, they do have a lot of infrastructure. So they have like huge fundings to cover everything. I mean, I don't know how to mention, but for example, you can find any of the research group of which is of your interest. For example, if you like to work in solar cells, yeah, you have some unit. If you like to work in batteries, yeah, there are some people working on it. And even those people have some collaboration with topmost scientists in the world. So you just imagine like you have a professor, or you have a people who is working with the future technologies. And moreover, KTH also has good collaboration with companies. Say for
Yes.
since Scania is here in Stockholm, they do have good collaboration with Scania. So they usually here, that is also one major thing which I have noticed is they have good collaboration with the companies, and they do research to support those companies, starting with the technology, improving the technologies. And now you have this battery craze running around. So these universities and the professors or the researchers always help uh, to support the companies as well. So yeah, like for the infrastructure, I don't have any single word, but the thing is like you can find whatever you want. That's
Huge.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very huge. Yeah.
Okay. Even though this question is, you have already passed this stage, but still, out of
Mhm.
curiosity, I want to ask you this question. You know how big KTH is, you know
Yeah.
how massive and excellent KTH is. But other than Europe Study Center, Hari, nobody else will
Mhm.
promote KTH, which is the
Okay.
number one university in one of the world's richest countries, Sweden. Can you guess why? Wild guess.
You're asking why Europe Studies
Why
Center is
why
supporting you?
only Europe Study Center
Uh-huh.
promotes KTH, Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden, and all the other what to say 10,000, 20,000 agents and consultants in India, they will never promote or send a single student to KTH. 99%. Any wild guess? I know it's not relevant to you. Just a wild guess.
Maybe like as you said, you have did your studies here in Sweden. Maybe you might know that very well.
No, brother.
Since
No. Not that's not the reason, Hari. The reason is a university like KTH, they get thousands and thousands of applications for the
Mhm.
students to study there, and they don't pay a single rupee commission to agents or consultants. You understand?
Yeah,
That's
that that
that's
that I
why
agree. Yeah.
that's why other than Europe Study Center, nobody else will promote universities like KTH. It's an open challenge to whoever watches this program. But the joy of sending a student, for example, from Coimbatore to a number one university in a developed country, in a richest country, that's humongous. I would like to ask you about how good, how efficient your professors were in shaping your career.
Yeah, actually, they are, as I said here, since when you are in like top one of the top institutes in the world, then you should always think how the professor's mindset and their knowledge will be. Like I was like shocked when they are teaching, when they do some support, when they correct or when they even evaluate your answer sheets. So it's not like that. They will just see the answers and then just give some marks or points here. So usually they will always support you. Like they always like if you have any doubts, you can always approach them. And the way of teaching here is like I always like that because it's like more kind of connecting towards the practical stuff. Even it comes to solid state physics, like subject like solid state physics or quantum mechanics, because those are the subjects which you feel like little bit out of practical, which because you should it's like more kind of a theoretical subject. But even those subjects like you can get good support in way of their teaching. And of course they are very much expertise. And those are the guys like they were in the domain for at least minimum 20 to 30 years in that specific field, and they have like a lot of experience in those specific subjects. So here, like it's not like I'm not complaining all the colleges in India, but there are some colleges which you can get professors very soon. I mean, the assistant professors or whomever teaching you might be not like 20 years experience, but here, when especially which I have seen in Sweden is if you have not been in academic setup for 20 to 25 years, there is no possibilities you will be getting the position of professors here. Whatever,
Exactly.
maybe you might have good journals or something. They don't care that. You should
They
be
don't.
there at least in academic setup for 20 years. Because
Yes.
I usually believe teaching is a skill. It's, yeah, you can be a good researcher, you can do a lot of research, but teaching is a skill. Like it's not everybody's cup of tea. So teaching is a skill. I always believe that. So yeah, sure. And they always choose those kind of people, and those are the guys always get chance to teach you, or you get chance to see their teaching. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I strongly believe people may object it. We can sit and study online and all those things. It's not an online food delivery app where you sit at home and learn everything, especially engineering. Without qualified professors, we cannot create, you know, technical awareness or knowledge, or pass on the knowledge to the younger generation, which is a non-starter. As you rightly said, without hands-on experience, just from the book level taking classes, it's not going to take us anywhere. Excellent. So then what was your, before talking about your final year project, I saw in your profile something regarding Hyperloop. You have done some work. So kindly talk to us about Hyperloop. It's exciting to know.
So yeah, like in KTH, as I said, like they also has apart from academics, you have a lot of stuff to do. Like they also have this kind of students club, which also focuses on many technical stuffs. So for example, since at those time this Hyperloop concept was so famous, so since it can bring it can make transportation much easier. So still now they have this club in KTH, so which is known as KTH Hyperloop. So here in actually it's a worldwide competition, like which is initiated by Elon Musk. So usually like it is a competition like which is initiated from by Elon Musk for the university students, where they can pitch an idea like to improve or elevate the technology behind the Hyperloop. I think even IIT Madras has this Hyperloop club, which they do also perform very good worldwide actually.
Excellent. Great to know.
Likewise, I was also very much into, since of course I've been in material science since I had my background in mechanical engineering. I was also, though even I'm more fascinated in mechanical. Sorry, even I'm more fascinated towards material engineering. I do have some interest on mechanical engineering as well. So that's the reason I was just trying to, okay, let us put some effort on this as well, because usually that you put on your free time, and then you can help you. It is like a group of students. You will just try to apply your knowledge, and you can build a prototype, and you can pitch, and even you can get some support, since as you said KTH is a very big institute. They
Yes.
companies trust students, so they will fund you, and you can do stuff as you wish. Yeah.
That is how the university should be. That is
Yes,
how the
exactly.
university should be. You take just money from the all the activities to run the university or projects just from the students' parent. That's not university. The industry should come forward. The government should spend money. For example, when you studied, KTH was charging tuition fees, which I know. But when I was studying, there was no tuition fees. That much, they support this, our Indian students especially. So then,
Yeah,
moving to the next concept, what were all the? By the way, before that,
yeah, sure.
would like to tell the audience what is material science from a layman perspective. The world is running out of virgin resources. Okay, everywhere there is scarcity of materials. So we need to find, better, efficient materials with even better physical, chemical, and thermal properties. So I would like you to explain in your technical way, about material science and why we need material science for this world.
Yeah, that's thanks for asking this question, sir. Like, because as you know, like materials are being very much essential for our day to life, starting from mobile phones, starting from your laptop, bus, or any transportation which you use, because everything is built upon some materials. So as world is evolving, as world is going to more futuristic approach, scientists or people always tend to find new materials with good properties. For example, previously, like we had a kind of let's basically take now people can relate more with these kind of mobile phones. So I'm just putting my light on mobile phones. So previously, like it was more, you need to charge your phones for a very long time, and now you can get the technology of turbocharging, like fast charging, which is basically because of material development. Because like previously the charging technologies are based on silicon nitride, which those chips are not tolerant to very much of thermal properties. For example, if you put more current, or if you allow the chips to have more frequency in the term, like basically if you allow the chip to process more current, it will burn. So nowadays you have this gallium nitride chip, which is another technology or another material which can withstand more kind of heat, which allows us to push our charging speed, or making your phones charging much more better. And in other words, to compare with the batteries, previously, of course, you have some batteries, but today you have lithium-ion battery, which is being also being promoted nowadays with the automobiles, and now we be even like Europe has more initiative to push towards electric cars. So for those, even previously you have lead acid batteries, and then these kind of normal uh, AA, AAA batteries. So these kind of batteries, even based on the materials. So once the material evolve, you can make them small. For example, now you need like batteries which can go for a longer range. So in that case, you need kind of a smaller batteries which can go for a longer range. So these are all the things which are mostly based on the materials. So once you change the material which has good properties, uh, which can allow us to make very small scale, so then it makes our life more easy to get those vision which we are aiming for.
What a beautiful explanation. If I had to put it in one line, better materials, better world. That's it.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
that's how it is. So then you finished your masters. Then when did you start applying for your PhD?
So yeah, sir. Like one thing I wanted to mention as well. Like one important thing which I see more good here is also, even though you can, I got admission into KTH. You can always transfer to some other universities if you like. For example, though I did my masters in KTH, I did my master thesis in Chalmers, which is another university. The reason which why I moved there is because, if you remember previously, I have mentioned Graphene Flagship, which is kind of an initiative in Europe. So
Yes.
the Chalmers, which is principal coordinator of this Graphene Flagship, that's the only reason. Of course, KTH do have projects in graphene, but I was more fascinated to go to Chalmers because they are the principal investigator or the principal coordinator of this graphene flagship. So they do have a lot of graphene based projects. So I've been approaching a professor there. So for like I just mailed him like doing my. I was fascinated to graphene, and I wanted to work with you because he was working with graphene based graphene for energy storage, say for using graphene for batteries, supercapacitors, and those stuff. So I was mailing them, and we had a couple of interview, and then I just he asked me, he provided me a master thesis there. Then I moved to Chalmers, which is Gothenburg, which is another second largest city here in Sweden. So I
Yes.
moved there. Then I did my masters there almost for 1 year, and unfortunately, we've been stuck under the time of COVID at those time.
Cool.
So which has little restrictions to work, and which also extended my master thesis a little bit.
Okay.
So
Okay.
actually,
Understandable.
yeah, I have to. I supposed to finish my masters at 2022, but because of these things, because since my project is more thoroughly based on research, I need surplus time to get some research. So which pushed my master's degree on completion on 2023. I have already fixed. I should do a PhD, which is of my interest because you can get a lot of PhDs, and PhDs are more even specific. So it is like it is more even specific than masters. So it will take some time to get the position which you are interested for. So I started searching like 6 months before like on before my completion of my master thesis. I was just looking, and I was filtering, and I was applying for many countries like Denmark, Switzerland, and then Sweden, many other countries. because on that scale I know, like, okay, there are many other groups which are working on 2D materials, because PhD is mostly, I would say, like, of course university matters, but you
Mhm.
should also give equal importance of your research unit where you're going to do your PhD,
Yes,
because your professor's supervision is also matters for a PhD.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So even I was aiming for that. Then I was applying, and I got several positions from Denmark and Switzerland, and then even here in Linköping University. But in Linköping University, currently the position is mostly based on 2D materials, especially for medicines.
Okay.
And especially here it is also like a position where I will use this electron microscope as my primary material to explore these materials, because electron microscope allow you to study these, because these materials are in nanoscale, so you need kind of a good characterization tool to understand them. So this feels more fascinating for me, so I have attended an interview, and luckily I also got a position, and that's how I'm here now.
Excellent. Super. And I also studied in Linköping. So I'm really happy. The student that I had sent doing his research and PhD makes me more happy. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing, man. Congratulations. So just to touch upon, PhD is always funded, right? Yours is a funded PhD by the university or
Yep,
by the
yep,
companies.
yep. This is from a government, but
Super.
most this is from a government funded, which is a Swedish grant fund. So basically, your professor will apply for a project, and your professor will get a grant, and then thereby you can do a PhD.
Excellent. Because without grant or without fellowship,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
cannot spend money from our pocket and do PhDs, which
yeah,
many
yeah,
people are
yeah,
doing it in UK. It's very
yeah,
surprising. People spend money and study PhD. Oh my God.
yeah, yeah. I have seen many universities in UK ask you to pay for PhD. Yeah,
All, total waste. PhD, we work.
yeah,
We
yeah.
work.
Basically,
So
you do
they
work. Yeah,
should pay us, which should cover our expenses basically. And
yeah,
many
exactly.
calls I get, Hari, sir, I did my master's here in India, there, and all these things. And they want to do direct PhD, which
Mm-hmm.
95% is not possible. They will have to do their
Mm-hmm.
masters in Europe so as to continue with their PhDs in Europe. And I want to ask you one more question, because currently I'm with a professor where he is working on hydrogen technologies. And he says
Okay.
these electric cars, we face a lot of limitation as Europeans, because we should either get it from Russia or from China, the lithium,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
that particular material. So he is focusing on hydrogen technology, which we have achieved a lot of ground. So as a material science
Yes, sir.
specialist, what is your opinion on this lithium scarcity? For example, we maintain good relationship with Russia, but
Yeah. Exactly.
not great relations currently with China. So
Yeah. Exactly.
on this political front or technical front, how do you, what is your opinion on lithium as a material science doctorate student?
Mhm. So yeah, to answer your question, simple. Maybe in future people can see this video. So I'm just saying, after in future, I strongly believe hydrogen will take place in automobile sector, or hydrogen will replace this energy domain for sure. Like this battery will be
Thank
this
you.
battery. Yeah, these batteries are not being sufficient. They are not in a good. They are not a great candidate for longer time period. Of course,
Yes.
there are some batteries. Say for sodium ion batteries, they are very good for very large scale. Like for example, if you have a renewable source, then you can. If you have a standby batteries backup, then these sodium ion batteries are very great. They have huge potential on this. But if you take for transportation, if you take for like automobile, if you take for long like these long transportation trucks or the buses, I strongly believe hydrogen will replace uh, uh, these batteries for sure. And
Yes.
I would also specially mention the Toyota from Japan, which has huge investment to do this research. And even last year, like they have
Mira.
even released Mirai, which is hydrogen based automobile. So I don't have doubt at all. And even like currently, so even though I'm working on energy and then these things of these stuff, so we actually to be honest, I don't have that much confidence this lithium will be stay for a longer while.
Yeah, never, never,
But
never.
of course, I even that's the thing. Even my master thesis, we were strongly working or we were trying to see these materials for sodium ion batteries. And yeah, currently we are also trying to see these machines for hydrogen storage as well. So yeah,
Excellent, amazing. Because me, as a student who studied energy engineering, at same where you are doing your doctorate, I don't think these battery cars are going to anywhere replace anything or
yeah,
supplement or take care of the country's resources. Plus, when we are looking at, we all are from India, so our focus is majorly India. So when we look
yeah,
at our country, we should look at what are materials we have, right? Not what other
exactly,
countries have, which is foolish.
yeah,
And we have
exactly.
abundant sources of water, which is H2O,
Mhm.
and you have the
Yeah.
hydrogen there. And the professor who is with me currently, where we are visiting all colleges, they have a beautiful
Mhm.
technology, Hari, to
Okay, sir.
compress this hydrogen at a very low pressure, less than 3 megapascal. So there is no concept
Okay.
of having these cylinders getting burst. I will send you those papers to your mobile number shortly. Okay. You can just,
That would be great.
read
Yeah.
it through. So when you can compress hydrogen and
Mhm.
store a lot of hydrogen, I mean, without compressing it to a very high levels,
Yeah.
problem solved.
Yeah, that's already like because as you mentioned, like storing hydrogen is more problematic or more difficult because hydrogen is very small element which is available right now. So that's the only thing. Like storing hydrogen makes more complex. So that if one can solve those issues, then yeah, we can see hydrogen in real time very soon.
Solved. It's solved,
Yeah,
and they have already, produced those hydrogen cars, and they are now working on hydrogen planes. So I will send you
okay.
all those. This is from Slovakia. So,
Okay.
this is
That's
so
great.
fascinating. And youngsters, school students, college students watching this program, study energy engineering. So much opportunities available, and especially focus on hydrogen. That's the future. I strongly believe that's the future. And that's why, Hari, many
Yes.
people are not so aggressive in making electric cars, and many people are
Mm.
phasing out their electric car production. That is what is happening internally,
Yeah,
externally, and
I
all those
think
things.
yeah. If you have if you follow the news, then you might have known like even Volkswagen and then even Volvo here are experiencing a lot of troubles because of this battery investment right now because they
Yes.
could not find some way to push this lithium much more ahead. Of course, BYD is doing very good. BYD from China is doing very good. Of course, they have a lithium resource in their own country, so they can provide cars much cheaper rates, and then they do have this blade technology batteries, which is fascinating technology compared to other companies like Tesla. But of course, like pushing you need to push your limits and you need to make a more sustainable kind of thing. Though they claim
Exactly.
batteries as a sustainable technology, I don't believe those are sustainable because you need mining, you need some kind of energy which is already spent to make a single battery. So yeah.
Yes. At least, Hari, forget about manufacturing the battery. Okay. If you look at the complete LCA, life cycle assessment, then
Life
that
cycle.
aspect comes in. Okay. At least,
Yeah.
okay, the battery is ready. How do you charge these batteries? You charge these batteries from electricity generated from coal-based thermal power plant. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so how this is renewable or how this is sustainable? It's just
Yeah.
what to say, focusing on the wrong target. Fantastic,
Yes, exactly.
excellent. So, what is your research topic? Of course, you are doing it in material science, but little bit elaborate.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, like I'm mostly currently I'm working more on mexines, which are titanium metal carbides. Where currently to specify the chemistry, I'm just working on titanium carbide based 2D materials as of now. So basically, these are the materials which has very much potential or very much tunability for many purposes, not only for energy storage, but they have wide range of applications like water purification and many much more else. And myself now I'm doing much basic or fundamental studies to understand their physics and chemistry, where I do employ electron microscope, transmission electron microscope, which is available here in Linköping University, where I put them in a different environment. Say for I will just heat them for several temperatures, starting from 100 to 1000 degrees Celsius. and see their stability under different temperature conditions, and where we will pass different gases and see their stability and study how the surface changes, how it behaves with different environment. Basically, it is more into kind of institute stuff, and we do pass water vapor and see the stability, how, because when you put in real term application, you always have water around your environment or atmosphere, so you should also see those things as well. So yeah, it's basically very fundamental studies. I'm currently working more on these transmission electron microscopes. Yeah.
For you, it may be fundamental, Mr. Hari. Okay, for us to listen to what you're doing, even as fundamentals, it's really fascinating. And we need people. We need people like Hari who could spend their life with full interest on topics like nanotechnology, material science, and all these newer materials. First of all, hats off to you, because nowadays everybody is studying only computer science. So, people should know every department. Even you study psychology or waste management, you will have your opportunities. Just to me being very little bit nostalgic, when you talk about Linköping, you always have this mechanical department as the first department. Once you enter from the other way around, and before that you have this McDonald's. It's still there. It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. And one good thing is it's open 24 hours. Because usually you don't find it. Yeah. Usually in Sweden, right? Everything will be closed by 10. So that's also one good thing I always love, because they have 24 hours.
Yeah, it's so nice. You have a McDonald's, then you have this mechanical department, and you have this underground tunnel connecting all the departments. I think in the entire world only Linköping has. I may be wrong, but yes, Linköping has it. Fantastic.
Yeah, I can say that, because even since I've been there in KTH, I've been there in Chalmers, so I can tell they don't have underground connections like what they do have in Linköping. And as you know, like Linköping is the air capital of Sweden, so they have the SAB, and then much more defense-related research is also going on Linköping. So I don't know, they might have some.
And
I don't know. Yeah.
And also, Hari, I call Linköping. It's my call, okay, not anywhere, but I call Linköping as the green capital of the world, because they were the pioneers to use a biogas-based transportation system.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even today, even today, this Ostrogaten something, the transport company.
Ostrogaten, yeah.
Yes, Ostrogaten. So they use this biogas technology to run the city buses, which was my final year project too. I was very fascinated. Okay. Hari, imagine, Hari, in the year of 2009, when I understand out of the waste, you can run your city buses. What better project can you find?
Yeah, exactly. I totally
we have a lot of waste. With that waste, biodegradable waste, you can run your city buses. Wow. I did not even have second thoughts. I designed my own master thesis, and fantastic. Great. Excellent. So, so this is like how long duration, this PhD for you?
Usually this is like 4 years studies, but of course, PhD here comes with teaching. You should do a lot of teaching, and you should also attend some conference, summer schools, and much more things. And you always know, since you are doing something novel, which is not ever even done anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
So which will always has two sides. So which won't go always in a direction which you believe. Of course, those are the belief, but you should always give some time which can go this side and that side, and that how research will treat you. So yeah, it is basically 4 years position, but you can extend for 5 years if you're doing some teaching.
And you're on a work permit, right? You're on a work permit, right?
So yeah, in Sweden, for doctoral student, you have a different permit, which is known as residence permit for doctoral students. Since doctoral student has employment benefits, as you are treated as a work as an employee, and also you will be also treated as a student. You will get student benefits, and you will get employee benefits. So I still feel this is the only country you can get that. I believe that so.
Nothing, no better country in this planet to do your PhD other than Sweden. I can confidently
Even
telling this. And
even
also,
I don't have any
second thoughts. Huh?
again thoughts about that, because I've been there to many countries, but coming to the stipend or the salary, coming to the infrastructure, and
Top
coming
notch.
to the support,
Top notch.
Sweden, I would suggest Sweden as your candidate to do
Yes.
PhD.
99% of agents and consultants, if everybody promotes Sweden's top public universities, I'll be really happy. I'm even ready to train them on all these fundamentals, but they will never promote Sweden. Only when you push a student into UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, you make a lot of commissions, but students don't get anything. Anyway, that's a different story. And also, you get your permanent residency. It's still the same after you finish your PhD?
Yeah, sir. Like you can apply for that. I
Yeah,
think you need to be here for 7 years for as
PR,
a working. Yeah, you should pay some tax here.
taxes, okay.
So if you possibly able to get that time, then yeah, you can of course apply for permanent resident here. Yeah.
Excellent. So before we sum up this interview, I would like to know, in a week, you spend time, you are on your research project Monday to Friday, specific hours, or everything is flexible? How it is?
Yeah, it is flexible. So I mean, yeah, here one such difference is also like nobody pushes you here.
Hmm.
Of course, you have a task to do. Yeah, and it's your responsibility, and you do that. And nobody asks you like you should work from 9 to 5 or something like that. You can work whenever you want. You can do whatever you wanted to do. Of course, discussing with the professor or supervisor if it's necessary. And then like yeah, you can work whichever time which is flexible for you. But yeah, of
Okay.
course, it since they are giving you as a salary, you are expected to work 8 hours
Okay. Monday to Friday.
on these times. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Super. And I know it's a lot of work doing your research, publications, teaching, learning, examinations. But
Yeah.
since Hari enjoys all these things, you love what you're doing. Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. That is what I'm saying. Like if you're not passionate about that, then it would be more difficult for you. And also, I forgot to tell, even you should also do some courses even when you're doing PhD. So
PhD.
like you should take 90 ECTS 90 equivalent courses for 90 ECTS. So which is also like if you consider it, it is almost a master degree, which is when you take out the master thesis, then you should always it is almost the equivalent.
Equal.
So basically, when you do PhD, you should study, you should do research, you should write a paper, you should do teaching, you should go for conferences. Yeah, it is very much more things to do. But yeah, if you're really passionate about research, and of course, if you do something which you like to do, yeah, you don't feel that as a stress or something. You will
Exactly.
allow
Same
to.
like me. You know, into 17, 16 years into abroad education, when I get to meet people like you, sir, I'm working on these materials, I'm doing my research in PhD. I feel all the interviews that I've done, which will fuel my, what to say, energy
Yeah,
levels for the next 16 years, because I'm the only one promoting Europe, and nobody else will promote Europe for the reasons that I've already mentioned you. So these sort of interviews, of course, it will motivate them to study about KTH. It will motivate them to study about Sweden, and most importantly, to learn about material science and the different materials that you have mentioned. So before we sum up this beautiful and technical interview, you would like to say some points for our audience before we sum up?
yeah, I would like to like to share something which I have did. So yeah, whatever you do, like first you should do your background. Like you should always do your check. For example, even if yeah, of course there are like Europe Study Center, they are gonna support you. They are gonna do something. But of course, you should do your background check. You
Yes.
should go to, for example, if you're very much into KTH, you should go to their website, and you should always do check what are the courses I'm going to study, what is their curriculum,
Curriculum.
how their master's courses is designed, and what are the infrastructures they had, and how I can see myself in after completing my masters. So it is always you should also put some effort yourself to do some background check, and which always motivates you to do something. that is the primary point, or the most significant point I would suggest for the audience. And moreover, I would also suggest do which you like to do. It's
Yeah.
not like only if you do computer science. Of course, you have more craze now with artificial intelligence, and you have everything like ChatGPT, DeepSeek. Yeah, you get to know everything when you do here. Of course, everything is here now. And of course, now AI is been also expanding to every domain. Even now, material science, we are implementing AI to define different structures, because previously it is very difficult to do with DFT because it will be more time consuming. Now AI models, we can use more it can reduce your time to predict the materials. So likewise, do what you like. You will always find your opportunities if you really work on your field and your interest. And good
Wonderful.
luck with your
Just
preparation, and good luck for your future endeavors, for the
yes.
audience,
Yes.
yeah, of course,
Thank you.
and
Thank
for
you.
you
Thank
as well, sir.
Thank you so much. Just to add to the point that you said, I strongly believe, you may accept it, or audience may also reject my claim or my
Yeah.
opinion. I
Mhm.
strongly believe these artificial intelligence, data science are tools to support your engineering processes.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I mean, like, yeah, of course, there are some newses like this artificial intelligence is going to take over some of the jobs. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe the mid-level jobs, which is kind of a data entry, which can do something. But if you open to expand your knowledge, if you open to learn something new, if you tend to learn new things, then I don't think you have any threat. You can always expand your knowledge, and you can always use those. And I would always suggest you to use this AI, because then you won't be outdated. Like, you can see how these do. Yeah, now people are doing more of fun things, but of course you can use this AI for your studies. For example, whatever domain you are, now you have this AI support, even for Excel, even for like a Google Notebook, everything you have AI. Just go and try, just explore how this helps. And now, of course, you can save much more times using this AI. Either if you read these articles, you summarize these articles, they do good job. But of course, as you try to enrich your knowledge, as you try to keep within with future updation, then of course I don't feel any threat or something which is gonna cause you. Yeah.
No threat, nothing, brother. These are all next levels of
Yeah,
technical
yeah,
revolution. That's it.
yeah,
It's just
exactly.
a
Yeah,
step. You don't have to worry about a step. You put your foot on it and keep moving forward.
exactly.
And what I wanted to say was, these artificial intelligence or data science or machine learning, these are all tools to study along with your engineering subject, rather than choosing them at the UG level itself. Okay, this is what I wanted to say.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Wonderful.
totally. Mm.
Thank you so much, Hari. I learned a lot of things, and people, especially Hari, school
Yes,
children
sir.
are watching these interviews. Okay, so they are
Okay.
going to study about that. Anna had told me about graphene. Let me study about that. And parents will even study research about what is material science. And this
Yeah.
positivity only we are bringing through these interviews, which I can openly challenge. Nobody else
Mm.
will post. Shortly, I'll be posting the 100th interview in our channel. Okay,
Mhm.
nobody can
Yeah,
post 100 interviews, Hari, of successful
yeah,
students who studied in
yeah, sure.
top public universities. I can, at the down to earth level, I can say only we can do it. Europe Study Center can do it, and no one else. Thank you so much. Best wishes to you.
Yeah,
And I'm sure, without your permission, I will tell this to the audience. Once Hari finishes his PhD, we will be doing the part 2 of this to learn more about material science. Okay, I would like you to be our resource point. I will not trouble you every
yeah,
year.
sure.
Once in
No
5 years,
worries.
once in
Yeah,
5 years, give us 30 minutes, because
sure.
I feel you will be my point of contact when it comes to material science, and
Yeah,
to
sure.
enlighten the audience through videos, as well as for me to enlighten my students when they come for counseling session. Thank you so much, Hari.
Yeah,
It
sure.
was pleasure talking to you. I know as a PhD student, you will have so much things to do, even on a weekend. But
Mm.
trust me, the 1 hour you have spent with me, even if it inspires one student to study material science, that's fantastic.
Yeah, even I would be glad in that.
Glad.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I would also like to inform, like, if anybody is interested and if you want any suggestions or any support from me, always do contact me. You can find my profile in LinkedIn, or yeah,
Sure.
I would always glad to help anyone if anything is
Yes.
you want here or any support related to material science. And
Super.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Even I
Thank
feel very glad to be here, and yeah, so excited to be here.
Last thing, when people you are asking some questions to Hari, ask about what all to study, where is the technology heading to. Don't ask Hari, if I come to Sweden, will I get employment? Will I get PhDs? Please don't ask those questions because those are in your hands.
Even I
Wonderful.
don't have answer for that.
Answer for that exactly, but that's are the questions that I get in my inbox, every day. Sir,
Yeah,
வேலை
yeah.
கிடைச்சிரும்ல கன்ஃபார்ம் தானே எப்பா நீ ஆபீஸ்க்கே வராதப்பா அப்படின்ட்டு because that's in their hands. Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you so
exactly.
much. Take care. Stay safe. See you very soon with the part 2.
Sure.
Bye bye.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye. See you. Thank you, sir.